and this is the Daily Signal for July 1st, 2025. Breaking overnight, massive casualties in Gaza, diplomatic fallout from Glastonbury, and Europe faces a deadly climate crisis. Here are today's top 10 stories that will shape your day. U.S. State Department bans British punk duo Bob Vylan from America after anti-Israel chants at Glastonbury Festival. Russia launches its largest bombardment of Ukraine in months, targeting multiple cities simultaneously. Europe's lethal heatwave kills hundreds as temperatures soar past survival thresholds across the continent. Israeli airstrike obliterates seaside cafe in Gaza City, killing 41 civilians, including journalists and students. Iran accelerates mass deportations of Afghan refugees, accusing hundreds of being Israeli spies. Israeli military opens investigation after hundreds killed near Gaza aid distribution sites. Violence erupts across Turkey following magazine cartoon allegedly depicting Prophet Muhammad. UK's highest court rejects Palestinian group's lawsuit to block F-35 fighter jet parts to Israel. Hungary's anti-LGBTQ Prime Minister Viktor Orban ironically named King of Budapest Pride. Iranian state media claims Israeli attack on Tehran's Evin prison killed 71 people. Now let's dive into each story. Breaking overnight, the U.S. State Department revoked visas for British punk rap duo Bob Vylan after they led 200,000 Glastonbury Festival goers in chants of "Death to the IDF." Deputy Secretary Christopher Landau called it a hateful tirade, stating foreigners who glorify violence are unwelcome in America. The band was scheduled to tour the U.S. later this year. British police have launched a criminal investigation, including potential hate crime charges. The controversy has ignited fierce debate over free speech versus anti-terrorism policies. Why this matters? This sets a precedent for how political statements by artists can trigger immediate diplomatic consequences, potentially affecting cultural exchanges between allies. Russia unleashed its most devastating bombardment of Ukraine in recent months, targeting multiple cities with missiles and artillery. The scale represents a significant escalation after months of relatively smaller attacks. Ukrainian officials report widespread damage to civilian infrastructure, including hospitals, schools, and residential areas. This brings total Russian military casualties to nearly 1 million troops, according to Ukrainian estimates. Why this matters? The timing suggests Russia is testing international resolve as global attention focuses on Middle Eastern conflicts, potentially signaling a dangerous new phase in the war. A catastrophic heat wave is killing hundreds across Europe as temperatures exceed human survival limits. Multiple countries have declared national emergencies with cooling centers overwhelmed. The heat dome stretches from Spain to Eastern Europe, with some regions experiencing temperatures that make outdoor work impossible. Climate scientists warn this represents Europe's new reality, not an anomaly. Why this matters? This isn't just weather. It's a preview of climate conditions that could become permanent, forcing massive changes to how Europeans live and work. An Israeli airstrike destroyed the Al-Baqa seaside cafe near Gaza City's port, killing 41 Palestinians, including women, children, journalists, and students. The cafe was a popular internet access point for displaced families. The attack came without warning, creating dense smoke and severe destruction. Al-Shifa Hospital confirmed the death toll with 75 additional injuries. The strike was part of broader attacks across Gaza that killed nearly 100 people in one day. Why this matters? The targeting of civilian gathering places like cafes raises serious questions about military strategy and civilian protection during ongoing ceasefire negotiations. Iran is dramatically accelerating deportations of Afghan refugees, with authorities accusing hundreds of being Israeli spies. The mass expulsions represent a sharp escalation in Iran's treatment of its large Afghan population. Iranian officials claim they've uncovered intelligence networks among refugee communities, though no evidence has been provided. Human rights groups call the spy accusations a pretext for ethnic cleansing. Why this matters? This creates a humanitarian crisis while potentially destabilizing Afghanistan and surrounding regions with massive population movements. The Israeli military announced an investigation into reports of harm to civilians after hundreds were killed near Gaza aid distribution sites. The probe follows international pressure over mounting civilian casualties. The investigation covers multiple incidents where Palestinian civilians were killed while seeking food and medical supplies. Israel maintains it targets only military objectives but acknowledges civilian deaths. Why this matters? The outcome could determine whether international aid operations can continue safely and may influence war crimes investigations. Violent clashes erupted across Turkey after a magazine published a cartoon allegedly depicting Prophet Muhammad. Police made dozens of arrests as protesters attempted to storm the magazine's offices. The cartoon sparked outrage among conservative religious groups, leading to street battles in Istanbul, Ankara, and other major cities. Turkey's government condemned the publication while calling for calm. Why this matters? This tests Turkey's secular democracy, as religious tensions could influence upcoming elections, and Turkey's relationships with both European and Middle Eastern allies. Britain's Supreme Court rejected a Palestinian human rights organization's lawsuit seeking to block F-35 fighter jet parts exports to Israel. The court ruled the group lacked standing to challenge arms export licenses. The Palestinian organization argued the parts enable war crimes, but judges said foreign policy decisions belong to elected officials, not courts. The ruling allows continued defense cooperation. Why this matters? This establishes legal precedent, limiting how arms exports can be challenged, potentially affecting similar cases involving other conflicts worldwide. In a stunning irony, Hungary's fiercely anti-LGBTQ Prime Minister Viktor Orban was mockingly named King of Budapest Pride by activists protesting his discriminatory policies. The title highlights growing resistance to his authoritarian rule. Orban has banned LGBTQ content in schools and restricted adoption rights, but Budapest's Pride celebration drew record crowds. The king designation went viral, embarrassing his government internationally. Why this matters? This signals growing opposition to Orban and could influence EU decisions about withholding funds from Hungary over human rights violations. Iranian state media claims an Israeli attack on Tehran's notorious Evin prison killed 71 people, though independent verification is impossible. The prison houses political prisoners and foreign nationals. Iran's Revolutionary Guard blamed Israel for the alleged attack, threatening retaliation. Israel has not confirmed or denied involvement, maintaining its policy of strategic ambiguity. Why this matters? If confirmed, this would represent a major escalation in the shadow war between Israel and Iran, potentially drawing the U.S. into direct conflict. Three critical patterns emerge from today's stories that will shape the coming weeks. First, the escalation triangle. Gaza violence, Iran-Israel tensions, and Russia's Ukraine offensive are interconnected. As global attention splits between conflicts, each side tests boundaries, believing others are distracted. Second, the democracy stress test. From Turkey's religious tensions to Hungary's authoritarian drift, democratic institutions face unprecedented pressure. The Bob Vylan visa ban even shows how cultural expression becomes diplomatic weaponry. Third, climate reality check. Europe's deadly heatwave isn't future speculation, it's happening now. While we focus on wars and politics, the planet's changing faster than our ability to adapt. Your takeaway: we're witnessing multiple system failures simultaneously. Military conflicts are escalating, democratic norms are weakening, and climate change is accelerating. These aren't separate crises, they're interconnected challenges requiring coordinated responses. The next 48 hours will be critical. Watch for Iran's promised retaliation, Russia's next move in Ukraine, and whether Europe can manage its climate emergency while handling refugee flows and political instability. This is Remo with the Daily Signal. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you tomorrow with the latest developments on these rapidly evolving stories.